Alright, quick update on Smooth Love Potion. So we just checked out Axie Infinity. Axie is also having a sizable bounce today. I think Axie's up 10% today. Smooth Love Potion's up 24%. So we're seeing a nice bounce. We didn't quite make it down to the lows. However, you know, the markets aren't in the clear at this moment in time. You know, Bitcoin is still trading to the downside in the short term within this descending channel. I've talked about this in a lot of my altcoin videos. There is going to be a Fed meeting between the 3rd and the 4th. I imagine after the Fed meeting is done, that will allow some confidence to return back in the market. So in my opinion, as long as SLP is able to stay in this kind of trajectory where we're not coming back down to sweep these lows, then we might just be saved. And it's pretty much the same for Axie as well. Unfortunately, Axie has pretty much taken out your last 786 line in the sand. But however, Axie does have one last line in the sand of $29 before we do pretty much landslide. And it's the same for SLP as well. If we zoom in, like I've said, we've been talking about these lows for quite some time now. Just below 1 cent, you can see they're coming in at 881 approximately. It would not be good for us to go back down to these levels. I mean, worst comes to worst, if we do sweep them, we would need to be absolutely out of here. But I think as we've put in a higher low at this point, it's in my opinion, it's either a do or die. We're either going to bounce out of here, or we're going to come back down after maybe a daily retest of your EMA ribbons, and we're going to fall below and sweep the lows. So I really do think the bottom is somewhat near for SLP. I'm personally not looking to jump in a trade on this now. Do bear in mind, in the macro term, I mean, we might even be able to see this better on the weekly. Yeah, we've just had a huge breakdown of this asymmetrical triangle. We were bouncing in here for a very long time, since basically the 24th of January. So this was going on for a quarter of a year. Bear in mind, we only fell out of it 3 weeks ago, coming on for 4 weeks as the candle close comes in tonight. But yeah, I mean, you can also say this is an M pattern. We are currently breaking down through this neckline right now. So the longer and longer we chill around these levels, the worse it is for SLP. I think the bounce needs to come very soon. And once again, you know, I say this in all my videos, the trend is your friend until the end. I don't think trying to, you know, call the bottom is going to be a good idea, because most of the time people aren't going to be able to call the exact bottom. I think what we should be doing, what I'm personally planning on doing in this market, is waiting until we have signs of a reversal for SLP and Axie Infinity. And as of the moment of recording this, there's no big signs that we're seeing a reversal. Bearish momentum is definitely still here. We have had a huge increase in buying volume today, which is a good sign. And if you do come over to your oscillators, you know, we'll be looking at the money flow indicator and the RSI. The money flow indicator recently came down to just lower than 6. And the lowest it's ever been is down here at 4. So I honestly think, you know, we do have a big bounce underway, even if it is going to be a dead cat bounce. I don't know if now is the best time to be entering SLP for a long trade. I think Bitcoin is very choppy right now. If we come down to lower time frames, you can see we're getting stuck in your EMA ribbons. And also, like I said, we have the Fed meeting between the 3rd and the 4th. I believe that will bring back some clarity to the market. As the markets are closed over the weekend, we don't know per se how the dollar and all of that is going to open, but the dollar is extremely strong right now. This is causing extreme stock market weakness. You're seeing blue chip stocks like Coinbase making new lows, Tesla breaking below important levels of support, Facebook dumping after their quarterly earnings, the SPY on its last legs, NASDAQ breaking down to new lows, and also your SPX breaking down, potentially coming back down to these lows as well, which it's pretty much at. So it's important to know the whole markets in the world right now are very shaky. I really don't think now is the best time to be DCAing into SLP. I could be wrong and we could just be about to initiate a face tear, but I'd rather buy a breakout on something like SLP than, you know, buy a pump like this. SLP's shown that when it does have these breakouts over these important levels, it gets some decent continuation. But in the macro trend, we are in a huge downtrend. Coming into the daily, you can see we've got resistance coming in at 155. The long-term moving average of this daily EMA is also coming in at approximately 17 to 18. So yeah, we've got some strong support, strong resistance coming in over the top of our head for SLP, unfortunately. And depending on, was this your 786 down here? Yeah, it was. So depending on which way you draw your 786 Fibonacci from your most recent impulse, if you do draw it to the candle body close, I'll mark this orange so you can tell that these are Fibonacci's. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, we've come right down to it. We've back tested that last line in the sand, your 786. I really think we'd need to hop above here. So yeah, keep your eyes on these daily EMA ribbons. These are going to be a godsend. While we're stuck underneath these, we're obviously in a very clear bearish trend. And I do think it would just make sense waiting for a slight breakout to the upside. For example, if you were to get in after another 30% pump to the upside, bear in mind SLP's market cap is very low right now in comparison to a lot of other altcoins. But previously, you can see here the daily EMAs, when we were in this downtrend, we never got above them. And when we did, you can see it's a one-day spike, and then you come to backtest it, you fail, and you completely start to landslide. We did it back here. We pumped above the daily EMAs. We came back to backtest it, failed, and started to landslide. Look what we did a couple of weeks ago. We hopped above the daily EMAs, came back down to backtest it, failed, and started to landslide. So I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines for SLP. The same is going to be for Axie Infinity and the altcoin market. It is good what we're seeing right now with this bounce. It is good that the oscillators are finding some very low bottoms, and also I do appreciate the volume that we're seeing right now. However, we are trapped below some very important levels of previous support flipped resistance. So until we get and hop above approximately 17 to 18, I'd need to see something like this. I'd need to see your EMA ribbons flip back bullish. I'd need to see us retest them and get out of here. Until that happens, then unfortunately I'll be sitting on the sidelines for SLP because, you know, like I said, for all of these reasons, the stock market is looking terrible. Keep your eyes on how the stock market opens on Monday. If not, I'll be talking about it anyway, so you can come over to this channel and get my opinion on it. But yeah, the 3rd and 4th is where the Fed meeting is once again. I don't think the markets are going to be able to jump out of this region for the next couple of days or so. So I'll be looking at these cryptos. I'll be looking at some decent areas where we can make some trades, and as of right now, I don't see that on the chart coming in for SLP. Some very nice buying volume as we did bottom though. Let's see some continuation. Let's see us get above these 4-hourly EMAs. By the time we flip the 4-hourlies, we'll be coming into the dailies. Hopefully that will be able to provide us enough momentum to get over these levels that we previously talked about. Like when you come over to the daily, you can see these are your EMA ribbons coming in here. So that's all I've got. A nice bounce today on SLP, up 23% as of the time of recording, but we have a lot of resistance above our head, and we do have a little bit to go before we have proved ourselves. That's all I've got for SLP. As always, none of this is financial advice, just my opinion on the market, and as always, cowboy out. Peace.